Ladies and gents, RichesMethod, back at it again. Go ahead and subscribe. It's absolutely free. Hit the like, drop a comment below, share the videos. Check the comments and the description below. I have links to ebooks on financial freedom, as well as the dating cheat sheet, financial cheat sheet, how to live abroad. Go check it out. Before we get completely started, man, listen to the energy in this place, the bikes, the people, all that. Then we're going to really go in deep. Yep, that's right, buddy. I'm back in the city where it all got started, man. The city that has the most expats of all the different areas. This is where, for people who need an easy transition, man, who needs to be around their own culture, hear English, German, French, Italian, if you're Canadian, if you're American for sure. This is also the city that includes, or should I say Providence, which is kind of like a state that includes Sosua and Cabarete and all the beaches, man. And of course, for you fellas, that chicas, right? Man, I must say, after I got here, they warned me about the women of this town and this city in general. But, man, I ended up living here for 2 years. I gotta say, I had some of the best memories of my life here, but also some of the worst memories and experiences of my life here. So I would say that for a lot of people, this spot would be an easier transition if they don't know Spanish, if they haven't lived in a city with a heavy Spanish population, right? Now, if you coming from South Florida, man, if you coming from any city in the United States like Texas, in the city areas or certain parts of California, and you've been living among the Latino population, right? Or maybe in Montreal, if you're from Canada, Montreal, and you're used to a deep and heavy Spanish population, then you could move directly to a bigger city over here like the capital. But if you want to be around your expats, if you need a transition, I would say this city might make it a little easier for you. And then of course, for the fellas who are looking for, let's just say, the nightlife of a place like Sosua, this is it, man. It's Puerto Plata, right? Puerto Plata, man, I realize from a lot of my comments that I'm getting that guys are not aware necessarily that it's actually in Puerto Plata, right? It's just a town. Then next to that town is Cabarete. But Puerto Plata is the city itself as well as the Providence. So let me give you an example of what I mean, man. Let's say you got New York, right? Everybody mentions New York City, but nobody remembers many times that New York is also a state. Everybody will say Manhattan, but then they forget that Manhattan is really just a borough, right? So like Cabarete, Sosua, they're just towns within that bigger city. And then the city of Puerto Plata City, you spread that out, you got Puerto Plata, Providence. This area is definitely for the people who need like rest, relaxation, mental rejuvenation, who want to live by the beach. There's lots of beaches here, right? So, a lot of tourism, because tourism actually started in Puerto Plata first in the Dominican Republic. So it caters to that, right? You got the cruise lines coming in. You got beaches everywhere. Puerto Plata in general is much more relaxed, man. What I mean by this is even technology, right? So the big supermarkets, they're going to have where you could use your card. But, man, you go to the small colmados, which is the shops on the corner. You go to most beaches, you go to most restaurants, it's going to be all cash. So you got to go use those ATMs. You might get a little problems hunting around for ATMs. You got less Ubers, that kind of thing. So what I'm saying is, and you definitely got small town culture, right? Even though they're used to tourism, among Dominicans, you really got that family kind of feel. A lot of churches, you got a lot of little cafeterias, which is the little food spots that open from like just before lunchtime. And also early breakfast time and then late afternoon time, but it's not going to be open all 24. That's say 8 hours of the day, right? So you got to be aware of those kind of things. Like they might open from 7 in the morning to like 9, and then all of a sudden they're closed because they cater to breakfast, and they're going to reopen like 11 to like 1 o'clock for lunchtime or 2 o'clock, and they're going to reclose, that kind of thing. So we talking about a little bit more of that rural life. You might find after a while that you got to get a car to get around, or if you're using taxis all the time, unless you're in Puerto Plata City, the main city area, then you're going to have options to Uber. But outside of that, you're talking about taxis and moto taxi drivers and the Carlitos, which is like the taxi cars, but public versions. They'll try to pack as many people in there. If you're American, Canadian, you're from the Western world, you're not going to be used to that. I'm Caribbean, so I could pack myself into one of the little minivans, which they call guaguas, right? That's like a tiny van with like, I don't know, 8 seats, you feel me? But they're going to pack 12 people in there. Yeah, man, so it's just that kind of life, right? Your nightlife is going to be in the city area of Puerto Plata City, a little bit more spread out. And then, of course, you got the area set up for the tourists, which is Cabarete and Sosua and these kind of places where you ain't got to worry about that. Those cities are extremely walkable. Everything is within like 5 blocks, 6 blocks, right? Yeah, so diversity here. You can do really, really river living, country living, mountain living, and then a little bit of the quiet rural city life. Or should I say, small city life, right? Because you could move from one side of Puerto Plata City to the next in like an hour. No, for the fellas and for the ladies listening. For the ladies, I would say Cabarete definitely caters to you. You got a lot of dudes who are beach boys, or as they call it over here, Sankey Pankies. In Jamaica, they call it rent a dreads. For the fellas, you already know. You guys, a lot of you guys watching this, if you're new to this, it's called Sosua. Playa Sosua. If you're an old head, you already know what I'm talking about, so I ain't going to expand nothing on that. For you guys who are new, you could just put in YouTube Sosua, Playa Sosua, Sosua Beach, and you're going to see tons of videos, right? For the ladies, Cabarete. A lot more laid back, a lot more Eurocentric, but the fellas are up there. Puerto Plata City, the same thing. If you ladies are African American or wherever you're from, Latina, but you were born in another country, you just got to come to any of the beaches, right? Whether that's Puerto Plata City beaches, you got Cofresi, Costumbar, you got Amber Cove, you got, the name goes on to the beaches in Puerto Plata City, right? Along the Malecon, you got like Kite Beach, you got Long Beach, lots of beaches. El Pueblito, which is a public beach that I saw you guys a little bit earlier, a little clip of. You got Dorada, which is in a pretty much a gated community, but that's out there too. Pueblito is the one right next to it. That's for the public, right? You can't separate or see the difference really in the two beaches, except one is kind of like resort style, and then on the other, right next to it, you got a public entrance, right? So it's unending beaches. Cabarete got Kite Beach. You got Playa Escondido. I think that's how it's pronounced. You name it, they got it. Beaches, calm lifestyle. You got nice areas and developments that I'm not showing in this video because the areas are so quiet. There's not much life going on at it that all the expats live. Like I said, this is the area with the most expats and the easiest transition, that also got the amenities of kind of a city area and the range all the way from mountain living to quiet small town living, right? That's why I'm saying Puerto Plata would be that destination for those people. If you're looking for hospitality, neighbors, being friendly, making some friends whether you know Spanish or not, because of course they're used to foreigners and tourism, right? It's the easiest transition. Man, let me tell you something. If you're into nature, you got excursions everywhere. You got river places you could go visit. You got what they call these places, like a little place dedicated to monkeys. Listen, if you gonna bring a whole family, you got so much family activities or new family activities. What I mean by this is families just get together, go out, have some dinners, go to the parks, go to the beaches. You won't feel out of place at all, right? Now, if you're a single fella, man, you definitely might want to do Sosua. You can live in Sosua if you want to. It's gonna be a real small town living, but you'll have lots of fun at first. If you're a family, you might want to consider Puerto Plata City. If you're looking for, variety for your kids to be in like a bilingual school, things like that. If you're just a retiree, divorced guy, the options are up to you. If you got physical ailments, if you got mental issues, you got the VA here in Puerto Plata City itself, and in Sosua, you will want to choose one of those two locations or even Cabarete. But be aware, if you do Cabarete, man, things kind of shut down. You'll probably need a car if you're a retiree, or at least you got to be comfortable riding a motorbike or a scooter, right? You'll see a lot of people moving around with those. Or, the truth is, for like $20, man, per ride, you can get a taxi driver. Just find somebody who's reliable, but be sure to take 2 or 3 people, right? That way that if they're not available when you're available, that kind of thing. Hey, listen, you got lots of options in Puerto Plata if you're looking for a more laid-back lifestyle. I just wanted to be a little bit more in depth with you guys on that one. Puerto Plata City, Cabarete, Sosua. You got little tinier towns, Maimon, Cofresi. Costumbar is a gated community of retirees. I think you got to be like 55 and older for that one to live in there. For the weekend warriors or the 1 week or the 2 week vacationers, you also got everything you need. You got let's just say company, right, for the females and the males, while you go do all those different things. The banana boat rides, the yacht tours, the snorkeling, the visits to all the little tourist spots, you know what I mean? Parks, resorts. You got all the different restaurants that you need, lots of dang hotels, villas and Airbnbs, private cooks, you name it. Listen, for an in-depth of all my negatives, some of the best and the worst of what I have, negative and the positive of what I've experienced here in Puerto Plata City, Sosua, Cabarete, just the general area, go ahead and binge watch my channel from beginning to end in the DR. You guys will get the real and the raw. By the way, go ahead, support the channel. All the links are below. Grab a financial cheat sheet book. Grab How to Live Abroad if you want to do that. I even got tips for the fellas who are weekend warriors and just coming in to have a good time. That's a cheat sheet on dating, travel, all that kind of stuff. Check it out below.